Sorry if you can't really hear me. I feel like I'm losing my voice as of right now. But my name is Rachel Sharma, and this is for my US History final assignment of semester 1 of 2014, fall of 2014. And this is because I'm not doing my POL for Mr. Anderson because I'm on the other panel. But for my final assignment, I chose to do the video because, I feel like I could show more by explaining them than just typing it out. Hi. Anyway, how are you gonna connect 5 pivotal events from, you can kind of say they're extremely different time periods? Well, I find a connection within, it sounds a little strange, but race, or just how you want to, not objectify, but how you can subjugate certain people based on what you think is right. For instance, slavery. In the beginning, it wasn't about race. It was just about free, just free work. So what people would use, they actually used indentured servants, as we know them, indentured servants. When in reality, it's just a white man as a slave. Here we use the term indentured servants to lessen the burn, if you will, on a fact that in the beginning we didn't really use African Americans or black slaves. It was just for cheap. It was just for cheap work. I mean, they never cared for if you were black, if you were white, if you were pink or blue, or whatever color you were. In the beginning, it was just so that they could benefit. Especially the people in Jamestown, considering that they were of higher class, of higher stature in London when they first left. And they were, to put lightly and to say nicely, not the smartest bunch of people when it came to actually doing work. They wouldn't allow themselves to because they thought of it to be not too lower class, but it was lower class of them. So, of course, they're just gonna sit there and twiddle their little fingers, argue on how to hold a sword and not work or cultivate plants or cultivate crops for themselves for their survival. Next, the revolution. Like slavery, it wasn't just an event. It was not a recurring is the wrong word. But it was an event that went on for a very long time, which entitled other events, for it to finally hit a boiling point. It's kind of like when you're arguing with your parents, and after a while, they're just kind of done, and they're gonna wanna. Let's leave it to the imagination right there. But with that, it was mob violence. Now you think that the British soldiers would come, subjugate the colonists, say, you're gonna listen to this whether you want to or not, and you're not gonna be able to say anything, when in reality that's not true. Great Britain, or British soldiers were implemented in the colonies only because of mob violence. and that was due to colonists tarring and feathering other colonists because they didn't want to pay a tax. Even though the colonists say that they love their country, they're hurting their fellow colonists who don't like the tax to prove a point. But in reality, it doesn't. If we think of it now, it doesn't make sense. But at the time, they had to prove a point. It's like when you're arguing with your parents or your friend and you take a stand. You can't just back down unless you want to be seen as weak, right? Yes, sort of. But hey, what can you do with that? I don't know. I mean, that's the only reason that the mob violence began, tarring, feathering, all that crazy, messy. Just, I cringe when I think of it. So, now, shall we continue on with the goriness? Let's talk about Bleeding Kansas. I said in the beginning of this, it's about race and subjugation more than anything, right? So first, you go with cheap labor for those who, with indentured servants who were nobodies in the British community, if you think about it. Then you go with mob violence because you feel like you're being oppressed due to the fact that you're not having a say in British Parliament. And you're 1,000 miles away. Anywho, so mob violence because you think that the British are gonna come and take over and be like, no, you're gonna listen to me. And finally, when you do have the American Revolution, and you figure out your own government, now what are you gonna do about slavery? Because slavery is still a big issue in all the states. Most of the South states rely on it for all their not in inventory is not the right word. For their industry. There we go. Industry. They rely on it. The North not as much. But the South, you have plantations with acres and acres and acres and acres and acres and acres of cotton for the textile industry, for everything else. So Bleeding Kansas. It's all about if we can I have not order, but can I have sorry, my voice is kind of hurting. But can I have slavery in a new state? And this is with John Brown and people just fighting over something that they could just sit down and have a discussion about. I mean, really, Bleeding Kansas, you want to abolish slavery, I get it, but so violent. John Brown, are you okay in the head? That's on you. But, I mean, in reality, it's with slavery and being subjugated and not oppressed, but being thought of as different has even related into now. Look at the O.J. Simpson case. It led to him being released only based on the fact that everyone pulled the race card. Everyone pulled the race card because two white officers, one African American man, and then one, if correct me if I'm wrong, but one and his not his wife, but his girlfriend was white as well, and then he murdered her. Come on. Come on. Really? I mean, what's the point? What's the point of fighting and arguing about it if it's just gonna be like, oh, you're being racist because O.J. Simpson is black and there too. Well, hey, come on. A guilty man walked away from his crime because they pulled a race card. Even till today. Today, I see it every single day. Oh, you're racist this, racist that, racist this, racist that. I am racist to my own people because I'm joking. People can't take a joke now because they're so sensitive. I mean, sure, there are certain things that it's just like, oh, I shouldn't really talk about that. But come on, at least be conscious of certain things. I mean, for my personal event, what was it? So many I can pick from, but hey, I'll say it out loud. I used to self harm. Still have scars. Not as bad now. It's a sensitive subject, sure, but it's changed who I am. Each and every one of these have changed the course of history. Personal event? This? Hey, I want to be not a psychologist, but I want to know why. I want to know certain things, and I want to be able to help. O.J. Simpson case changed the entire view on race. Now, how are all these pivotal events? Pivotal events because they have shown exactly what and why and how. Indentured servants, that was just the beginning. That was the beginning. Why would we use it unless we didn't need to? They needed it. They wanted to. They didn't want black slaves. Black slaves were way too expensive. Mob violence, crazy as it showed that colonists were a little crazy, sure, but they were ready to put their foot down and show Great Britain what everything was about. Bleeding Kansas? One guy was psychotic, yeah. Really psychotic. But it showed how heavy slavery was and how much of an issue it was. What else? O.J. Simpson case? Racist card. Pull that, you're good. You're safe. What else more? Bye bye. Sorry if I ended on a really, really heated topic. But like, I mean, everything's just. I find that everything's really just a little too sensitive now. And with that, adieu.